Whether you're looking for a Chevy car, truck, or SUV, go see my friends at Apple Chevy in Tinley Park. With over 500 new and used vehicles in stock, they have what you're looking for, and at the lowest price possible. Go to applechevy.com. All right, my friends, it's the Rokon Show with Anna Dublantis right here on 720 WGN.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, now, I don't know if you remember this, Anna, but Orion and I talk about this all the time. You know, back during the Harding administration, there was a lot of trouble. Before Monica Lewinsky or Lucy Mercer or Kay Summersby, there were famous extra ladies around the White House.
Extracurricular.
Mm-hmm. There was Nan Britton, who scandalized a nation with stories of carnal adventures in the White House coat closet with Warren G. Harding.
Boy.
Not one of the better in shape presidents either, as it turned out, which is really kind of, it gives me, great hope.
Sure. From looks alone, you wouldn't necessarily, peg him to be the ladies guy.
Yeah, but
you know what? A very severe look to him.
He had game, and that's the thing. It's the one deal. And sometimes you see guys, and you look and then you
look scratch your head, and you're like, wait a minute,
how did that guy end up with that girl and all of that? And immediately your initial answer is, oh, well, he must be loaded. No. Well, Warren Harding, of course, was very successful and powerful, but he also apparently had some sort of ability to be incredibly charming. A century later now, according to genealogists, genetic tests confirm that Ms. Britton's daughter, Elizabeth Ann Blessing, was indeed that of Warren G. Harding.
DNA proves it.
Mm-hmm. So you
can't deny.
So Warren G. Harding is now on Maury Povich, is basically the deal. You are the daddy!
And it's interesting, it's his family that finally decided, after years of mystery and family infighting and disbelief and shaming the woman at the time and, putting down what she had to say, then the family, Harding's family, came forward and said, hey, you know what, let's check this out for once and for all.
The New York Times writes, the Nan Britton affair was the sensation of its age, a product of jazz-playing, gin-soaked, roaring 20s, and a pivotal moment in the evolution of the modern White House.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it was a huge tabloid story. And you got to remember, at that era of journalism, this is right as radio was beginning. Radio wasn't even there. Newspapers were everything. And I believe Chicago had something like 12 dailies at that point. And
your morning and your afternoons too, right? Didn't they do those double printings?
A lot of some were, yeah. And what they would do too is that in these newspapers, some of them were rather lascivious. Right? So that was
Gotta sell them. What was interesting about this one too is that you kind of presume that probably a lot of presidents back then were protected, but perhaps there were an affair here and there, but that she went public, which was like blasphemous, right? For her to say, not only do we have this affair, not only did I go and take care of, we did stuff in the White House, but we have a love child.
She was 31 years younger than the president, and she had a very difficult time proving her relationship, and she had destroyed her own letters with him at his request. So
she didn't keep the dress.
Right, she didn't keep the dress.
Got to keep the dress.
And she also said that, his family insisted that Warren G. Harding was sterile, that he was incapable of fathering a child.
So that's how they discounted it all as a total lie.
Right. Not really the case. But then you get to Warren G. Harding himself.
Mm-hmm. The man, the legend.
The man, the exactly right.
Need a little Barry White music right now or something? Is that what I kind of feel where this is going?
900 pages of letters contain countless details about Warren G. Harding's affair with Carrie Phillips.
So this is a different affair.
Yes, another woman.
Okay.
He refers to his own private parts. And sometimes, he calls it Jerry.
Jerry?
Jerry.
Is a name?
Yep.
Like another man's name?
Yep. He also makes references at times to the moment that they had sex at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve in Montreal.
Where was Mrs. Harding?
Apparently back in D.C. I think in the next room.
New Year's. It's always interesting, New Year's. I remember for years shooting New Year's Eve parties for television, and a lot of people were like, hey, no, don't shoot us. And be like, oh, why wouldn't you want to be seen? I mean,
oh no,
what's the problem? Apparently, it's a Harding problem.
Here's how he referred to him. So this is in a letter that he wrote to that was unearthed, I suppose, to Carrie Phillips. This is not the one we're talking about, but this is another one. Here's Warren G. Harding referring to his member. Oh boy,
it's Jerry.
Jerry, you recall Jerry, whose cards I once sent you in Europe. Oh, wait a second. Does that mean that is that the first sexting? Is that he would draw pictures of it and then mail it in the mail?
Was he president at the time this was going on?
It was 1915. This is from 1915.
So prior to?
I think this is prior to becoming president. I was pondering your notes in glad reflection, and we talked about it. He was strongly interested and elated and clung to discussion. He told me to say to you that you are the best and darlingest in the world. And if he could have but one wish, it would to be held in your darling embrace and to be thrilled by your pink lips that convey the surpassing rapture of human touch and the unspeakable joy of love's surpassing embrace. I cordially agree.
He was speaking for his
member,
body part?
That was his member.
Why does he have to write it from the perspective of the...
That's what he did. He wrote...
What's sexy about that?
I know.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
He's saying to his lover, I can't say these things to you, but guess who's talking to you right now? He's doing all my thinking and my talking.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's how he gets out of it if they were ever revealed. I didn't say it.
No, Jerry said it.
That's Jerry talking.
All right, here's from August 20th, 1918. Wish I could take you to Mount Jerry. A wonderful spot. Not in the geographies, but a heavenly place. And I have seen some passing views there and reveled in them. How I wish you might be along. You could be such a daddy companion. It would be adorable to have you. I am sure I would be sweetly content. You could make me so.
Yeah, you were asking if that kind of game would work 21st century? No. I'm surprised it worked then.
Let's try this. Wouldn't you like to get sopping wet out on Superior? Not the lake. For the joy of fevered fondling and melting kisses. Wouldn't you like to make the suspected occupant of the next room jealous of the joys he could not know? As we did in morning communion at Richmond. Oh, damn!
No.
Oh, no! Oh, hell no! Oh, there's a president talking. Oh, no!
It's interesting because some people believed that Clinton was the first president who actually was involved in these types of affairs, and it's so interesting when you go back in history how they were able to cover them up, but that everyone knew. But those letters.
Oh no, there's another one. Oh my God, I just found another one.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Esmeralda Leon, I'm sorry that you have to be here for this.
It's really gross.
Isn't it? I mean, am I missing something?
It sounds so, it's not saying anything explicit, but.
No, but it's talking from the first person from his member.
No, thank you.
Esmeralda Leon has the WGN traffic trouble spots.
Poor Esmeralda.
On the northbound side of the tri-state at the Eisenhower.
It's almost as though it's a dream.
We have an accident blocking 2 left lanes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. On the inbound Kennedy. It's an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 33 from the split. We're seeing those delays start at River Road.
Oh, Jerry's very upset with you.
And on the Stevenson outbound 56 from Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, it's an hour and 12 to 3:55. It's solid.
Oh, yes.
At Pulaski. I'm Esmeralda Leon, WGN Traffic Central.
Anna. This is President Warren G. Harding.
I'm looking at his picture while you're saying this, and it just doesn't work.
You sound dreamy. So we're reading the Warren G. Harding letters.
Oh, and it gets better.
Because today it was announced, New York Times did a story today, that all of this talk about Warren G. Harding, who was president in the 1920s, 1921 to 1923, died in office. Apparently of that thing, whatever it kills you from the Viagra, whatever that is. Apparently that he wasn't able to get medical attention within 4 hours. Warren G. Harding apparently was a great lover in the White House. He had numerous affairs, and the New York Times reporting today that actually there was a woman 31 years his junior, was in her 20s, when she was then having nuptials with the sitting president of the United States, or in that case probably recumbent president of the United States, that he was that he had fathered a child with her, and today the New York Times broke the story that he actually did. I know we're almost 100 years too late on this. We're 95 years too late, but it doesn't matter.
But it was a mystery, and the history books would sort of, reference the scandal at the time, but the family totally denied it, or not denied it, they rejected it until they came forward and they said, hey, let's do the DNA test once and for all. And it's interesting because Nan Britton, the mistress, she publicly came out after he died in office because apparently she needed, he was supporting her financially, and then she needed
dough for the kid.
Dough. So she wrote a book and talked about it.
Yeah, and everybody said she was a liar. And now it turns out she was accurate. And then he had this other woman that he was involved with named Carrie, and Carrie Phillips. And she received these letters and kept the letters, and then they have just recently been unearthed and placed into the congressional record, into the Library of Congress as the writings of Warren G. Harding.
Oh gosh, that's embarrassing. And he writes, about his from the perspective of his male part.
Yes, he does. Whom he refers to as Jerry. I guess which he refers to, because even Jerry isn't a guy; it's a piece of him, as it turns out.
But he has a lot of thoughts.
Jerry does. Honestly, I hurt with the insatiate longing until I feel there will never be any relief, until I take a long, deep, wild draft on your lips, and then bury my face on your pillowing breasts. Oh, Carrie, I want the solace you can only give. It is awful to hunger so, and be so wholly denied. Oh, Carrie mine, I see you have yielded and written myself into wild desire. I could beg, and Jerry came and will not go. He says he loves you.
He loves her?
He loves you. And that you are the only love worthwhile in all this world. I must tell you so, and a score of more of other fond things he suggests. But I spare you. You must not be annoyed. He is so utterly devoted that he only exists to give you all. I fear you would find a fierce enthusiast today. The kids are all doing all the sexting. They could learn something from Warren G. Harding, man.
That's a different approach right there.
Oh,
that's 1920s game.
Yeah,
it worked then. Right there. Worked very well for him, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were reading in his bio, too, about, 19th Amendment was passed while he was president, giving women the right to vote, and how the women would horde over to the stage in each city he would visit and surround him and thank him. And
did you say horde or whore? What did you say?
Maybe combine the two, but could also apply to him.
Yes, that's correct. Roger Badish, who does not make Jerry very happy, is going to join us with the WGN News in 2 minutes.